Hi lovely viewers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. I'm Kayla. You might have read a bit about me in my kind of bio thing, but just a little snippet. I am a mother to a toddler who is 2.5. I am a childminder to toddlers as well. I generally talk on my channel about Montessori because that's one of my passions. I love respectful parenting. I love giving ideas for resources and toys and kind of DIY projects, playroom ideas, any kind of tips that can help you as a kind of Montessori enthusiast or someone who's interested in Montessori, or if you're starting out in Montessori. I want to make it as simple as possible and let you know that it doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to be a teacher. You don't have to kind of be a top kind of homeschooler with all these amazing resources. It's really simple, and it just starts really from you as a parent and kind of how you want to approach it and bring up your child kind of in that respectful way. So it doesn't have to be difficult, but anyway, I'll stop waffling on. So today's video, I wanted to talk, it's a bit of a random one really, because you might be in a similar position to me in that during this kind of quarantine isolation period, it's been a real focus on developing a kind of new flow and a new routine, and I wanted to talk to you about how I've kind of made it work for us and come up with something that is kind of everyday feasible. So you might not be used to having your children at home all day every day. Maybe your child goes to nursery or to school or to a childminder, or maybe your child spends a lot of time with their grandparents or at play dates and things. So it can be quite hard just being at home all day with your child if you're not used to it. And sometimes you might go out quite a lot. I know that nearly every morning, well probably most mornings, we spend probably 2 or 3 hours out in nature, kind of walking, nature reserves, visiting places. So when you suddenly can't do that, it's quite difficult to know how to fill the time if your child isn't used to being at home as much as that. So that's what I was kind of struggling with, because we can't go out as much as we used to. So what I wanted to do is come up with a new routine for us in isolation, one where she can get a really good portion of playtime, one where she can start developing independent play as well, and one where I can do some of the things I need to do when I'm at home as well. Because when you've got a toddler, it's very difficult to get things done. They kind of want to be with you all the time, and some toddlers don't really like independent play. So yeah, I wanted to kind of come up with a routine that would kind of suit us all really. So I've come up with a nice kind of flow to our day, and I kind of wanted to share that with you because it's working so far, and I think it's a pretty good kind of option if you're in a similar position as me and you're home all day and you think, oh gosh, what should we do all day? Like, how am I gonna how am I gonna fill this time, and what should we do, and that kind of thing. I think even if you're at home, it's really good to have a loose routine that you can follow. So what I like to do is I like to break up the day into 3-hour periods. So you might have heard in Montessori of the 3-hour work cycle. That's kind of what they follow in Montessori schools and nurseries. It's a good block of time, so 3 hours, where the child can really focus on their play and their work and get really engaged and optimize those kind of learning opportunities. But it's not always feasible to do that at home, but I've kind of taken that 3-hour idea and then turned it into kind of incorporated it into our routine. So I'll kind of explain what I mean. What I've done is I've broken up the day into 3-hour periods, and in those 3-hour periods I've made a list of things that we want to achieve. So I'll give you an example. So I'm starting my day from 6 a.m. Mia doesn't typically get up until probably 7, sometimes 8. I'm really lucky. She's a really good sleeper. I know that a lot of you mums out there won't be in that position, and sometimes your children will get up at 5, sometimes even 4. So I totally understand that. So you can start your routine whenever suits you. So my first kind of block of the day will be from 6 until 9 a.m. And during that time, I like to try and fit in maybe a little bit of exercise, whether it's 10 minutes of yoga or a quick kind of HIIT workout. Not every day, just if I can. And I really am so flexible with this because I really like to go by how we're all feeling, Mia's emotional state. If she's really needing me in that morning, then I will be there. I won't take my self-care for granted, but I just won't necessarily be strict to fitting it in at that particular time. So yeah, between 6 and 9 we have breakfast. We tidy all the breakfast things away, we get dressed, we brush our teeth, and that's pretty much it. So we like to have a long breakfast. We take our time cooking together, preparing, and then we kind of have our coffees and we chat, and we just really take our time with breakfast to kind of ease ourselves into the day. So then our next kind of 3-hour cycle is from 9 till 12. So during that time, we would usually be out. We'd usually be out somewhere, playgroup. We'd usually be exploring like a nature reserve or visiting a zoo or something, or, you know, meeting up with friends. We'd usually be out kind of during that morning time. So because we can't really do that now, I am dedicating those 3 hours to my daughter. So I've noticed that we have a much better day, particularly emotionally, if I'm really present with her in the morning. So I've decided to use that period from 9 till 12 to really be present with her, put my phone away, not do any other jobs like washing up or whatever, just maybe have a coffee, that kind of thing. But we'll go into the playroom. She can have a really good period of the morning where she can work on her resources, she can play, we can read together, whatever she wants to do. I'm very kind of like child-led approach, very much let her choose whatever she wants to play with, and I'll just kind of be there present with her, so she can come to me if she wants me to if she wants to show me something, we can read together. If she wants me to help her with anything, you know, I'm there, I'm present, and we kind of have that time together. So that really helps set the pace for the day, because she's quite an emotional toddler. She has lots of big emotions. She's very high and very, very low. So I like to kind of keep it steady and be there for her. So that's why I've kind of dedicated that time in the morning where she can really get stuck in and engaged in her play, and I'm there present with her, because that really makes a difference to how she feels. She's very much a kind of toddler who appreciates relationships and spending time with people. She loves having people around. So I'll also let you know that during 9 to 12, she has access to her snack cupboard. So we don't have to have a specific snack time. She can go to her cupboard at any time and grab a snack. Everything's all kind of weighed out and in pots, so she can access it really easily. So the next period is between 12 and 3, and during that time I've incorporated our lunch, so some kind of food, and then a little bit of quiet time as well. So Mia stopped napping about 6 months ago, and I really wish that I'd done quiet time then. I think it would have been a really easy transition, but I've started to incorporate it now because I think I've had a read about it, and I think it has some really amazing benefits, kind of emotionally and mentally. It allows her to have time to herself on her own, so she can develop more of that kind of independent play. It allows her to be more creative because there's no input from anybody else, there's no engagement. She's completely on her own and she can play in whatever way she wants to. And it allows her to just have that time to herself and kind of rest a little bit. So I'm allowing her to spend her quiet time however she wants to. If she wants to sleep, she can. It's unlikely, but if she wants to. If she wants to have lay down on the sofa and rest, if she wants to look at books or play with her resources, that's totally okay. So it's a time that I can have to myself to do some work, and it's a time that she can have to herself. So I'm actually going to do a video on quiet time probably in a few weeks. It is a new thing for us. I'm just incorporating it at the moment, introducing it, and I'm kind of easing her in. I'm hoping that we can have an hour to ourselves in the day to rest and recuperate and just have a nice quiet kind of calm period. But at the moment it's kind of a half an hour. So I'm going to gradually increase that as we get on, and then hopefully over time we can be consistent and it can become part of our family routine where we can all independently do the things that we want to do, rest, read, whatever that may be. So yeah, between 12 and 3, that's quiet time is included in that period. I also allow for a bit of TV time as well, so between half an hour to an hour, if she wants it, which she generally does because she loves TV. And that's pretty much it, really. So yeah, during that, coming back to the quiet time, during that time, I will get things that I need to get done. So I will do some work, I'll edit my YouTube videos, do some kind of admin stuff, kind of whatever really, do a bit of cleaning. It's my time to get things done that I want to get done. But what I generally do is I don't allow or put too much pressure on myself to get things done. So I have a very small list of things that I want to achieve in that day, whether it is cleaning the kitchen, whether it's editing my YouTube video, whether it's like paying a bill or making a phone call about something. Things that I think that I could achieve in that kind of half an hour to an hour. And then once that's done, and I'm kind of back in the room, I'm present, and I feel like I've achieved something that I needed to achieve. Or even exercise, you might use that time to exercise, whatever you want to do in that time. I think quiet time is great for that, just kind of getting a few things done, and or just resting. You might just feel tired, just want to rest, do a bit of reading, whatever you want to do. Yeah. So the next period is between 3 and 6, and that is a time for more play, possibly outdoor play, playing in the garden, whatever. And then cooking, making dinner, eating, and then kind of getting ready for bed. So yeah, and then once she's in bed, I can do whatever I want to do. So if I want to do a bit more work, if I want some TV time myself, if I want to do a bit of reading, then that's kind of from 6 till 9, or exercise, and that's my time, or kind of time to spend with your partner or whatever. But the thing is, I've never been hugely keen on having strict routine, but when I break it up into these 3-hour periods, it gives a lot more flexibility for what you want to do within that 3 hours, but also it helps you kind of segment the day, rather than waking up at kind of 7 and going, it's a really long day, like what am I going to do in this day? Like, what are we going to do for the hours in the morning, what we're going to do in the afternoon? It kind of helps you break it down and get the fundamentals done, like eating and getting dressed and tidying things away, but then also it gives your child enough time, good segmented hours, for them to really get stuck into their play. We know that when children are really engaged in their play, or at least given the opportunity to be engaged, they have more opportunity for learning and being creative, and just kind of developing better, really. So yeah, I hope that helps. That's how I kind of break up my day. It's not too strict, it's still really flexible, but we can get the fundamentals done, and it kind of pleases everybody. I'm happy if I can just get a little bit of work done, the things that I need to do in the day, without kind of ignoring her, without pushing her to one side, or without having to kind of juggle it with her all over me, because it's difficult with toddlers, so I totally get that. But yeah, if that helps at all, then hopefully it has. So that's my kind of routine in isolation. So I hope you guys are getting on okay, and thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.